Hi gang, what we are talking about tonight is law of attraction, Christianity. How do they go hand in hand? What's the story there? Guys, this is something that I wrestled with, and I talked about this on another video because I studied law of attraction for years. I thought I had it all figured out. It's science, we can prove it, I know it. And I really thought that the Bible and Christianity was at odds with law of attraction or science or whatever I had been studying, but it's really not. There's so many overlapping things. I'm so excited to share that with you guys. Because one of the first things with law of attraction is you've got to make sure that you're not focused on the how. So you put your intention out into the universe and you're not focused on the how at all. You've got to make sure that you aren't doubting, right? Because the only reason that you would think about the how is because you're doubting something. So you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to make sure that I make more money so I can pay my bills, or I need to pay this bill next week. But if you start thinking about, but gosh, how am I going to make more money? I mean, I don't, they're not hiring for any higher positions at my work. And, I don't have any prospects available at this moment. Nobody's approached me with any business idea. The moment you start thinking about the how, it's because you're doubting, right? Because if you had the utmost belief, you wouldn't be thinking about the how. So I've been coming across so much in the Bible that goes into exactly that. So for example, James 1:6. So James 1:6 says, "But let him ask in faith with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind." So when somebody doubts, they're not in control. They're a wave of the sea. They're tossed by the wind. Things are happening to them rather than them being in control and manifesting their own life. I mean, it's all the same. So another aspect of really making law of attraction work for you is really understanding that as what you're manifesting is being manifested, that you understand that things can be seemingly bad along the way. And when I was reading the story of Jacob in the Bible, I thought about this so much. I was like, I can't even, this is so classic law of attraction. Because the story of Jacob, I mean, he's basically sold off into slavery by his brothers, right? So then he's a slave in Egypt, and he's a slave at like this Pharaoh's house. And then he gets accused of, I think it's like making a pass at his wife or something like that. So he gets sent to jail. And so he's in jail in Egypt in like BC times, right? So things are not looking good. And because he continues to have his faith in God, God speaks through him. There are a lot of prophecies that the Pharaoh gets the word of that. And so he talks to the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh's like, hey, give me some knowledge here. Give me some insight. I hear that you're a very wise man. He tells him about an upcoming famine. The Pharaoh stores all the food so that throughout the famine, his people are able to eat just fine. And obviously he attributes all this to Jacob. And Jacob keeps saying, hey, it's not me, it's God. But all these bad things are happening to Jacob, and he continues to completely have the faith, right? Think about that for 1 second. You get sold off into slavery by your brothers. Then you go from slave to prison. You're treated awfully. Your life is bad. Your family is far away. Your parents think you're dead. So because Jacob stays faithful during this entire time, what happens is that then when he has those good prophecies with the Pharaoh blesses him as basically a ruler of the land alongside with them. The guy lives like a king and everything. He's reunited with his family. His father, he forgives his brothers, and he comes through for his family, and everybody lives like a king, like happily ever after. His like whole lineage is blessed. But I was reading that, and I was like, this is things that, like, they were furthering his goal the entire time. If he wanted to take care of his family and his life and, make his father proud and all these different, things or whatever. And so this was just like the crazy kind of way, because you can't control how the universe is going to get you there in order to give him exactly what he wanted. It's like the exact same thing of like, I'm thinking for more money, more money, more money, more money. And then tomorrow you go in and you get laid off from your job. And you're like, how is that more money? But you don't know what the universe has in store for you. You don't know what God has in store for you. You don't know why he had you laid off from your job. And you can't doubt but especially also when, and there will be times where seemingly bad situations, as long as you believe, is actually right on track with what you're asking for the entire time. Okay, so now, the third thing that I really noted just in studying law of attraction with how to make law of attraction work for you, acting like you have already received it. So having a knowingness that it's going to come into play. You know that it's going to come into play. You already know. Of course you don't have to worry about it. Of course you're not worried when bad things happen because there's just such knowingness. And I was amazed when I read some of these parts of the Bible. So for example, Mark 11:24, he says, "Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them." Oh my God, I feel like I'm reading Napoleon Hill. This is crazy how similar this is. Believe that you'll receive them. It's my cat, you know, he's really excited about this. Believe that you'll receive them and then you will receive them. Mythos, believe that you will receive your tuna and then you will receive it. Okay. Matthew 21:22, and whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive. It is so clear. It is so clear. It's one and the same. How to make law of attraction work for you is the exact same thing as the Bible, Christianity, as the way God works. This is God who's controlling all of this in the first place. So when it comes to science, I've already got it figured out. I already know. It's like attracts like. What controls like attracts like? It's God. So yeah, he's got certain rules that the universe is ruled by. He created science in the first place. He created the law of gravity. He created the law of attraction. It's a congruent. It's not at odds. And I felt like also as a newer Christian, that understanding that immediately deepened my understanding of my faith and my relationship with God, therefore, because again, it's not at odds with anything that I had been studying or dealing with in my life. It's all so intertwined. That thought excites me. And that's something I really wanted to share with you guys. I would love to hear your comments. Please leave some. Let me know your thoughts on some of this subject matter. I'm so intrigued by it. I hope some of this stuff helps you work things out, in your mind as well. If you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so that way you can get all the extra information on what's going on in my channel this week. Everybody have an awesome night. Bye, gang.